All right. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, my
How are you?
brother. Hey, it's so great to have be able to talk to you again. And I want to come straight out the gate with this, Lawrence. You are the most advanced vitamin formulator researcher I have ever met in this industry, and I consider it such a privilege that you have taken me under your wing to start producing and formulating vitamins with you. I'm just privileged. I feel so honored and privileged to be able to work with you, Lawrence.
Wow. My cup runneth over.
Well, hey man,
That's very kind of you because I know you have a lot of experience working with a lot of vitamin companies, so I appreciate that. I don't know if I'm the greatest formulator, but I know I care, and that seems to be the difference between myself and a lot of the vitamin companies I see. I think it's pretty clear when you look at their formulas that what their priority is, which is basically just tricking the public into taking their money. And because they don't care and because they don't have a conscience, it's easy to beat them. But I think if somebody cares, the information is there about the therapeutic doses of these nutrients and what the best forms are and what the best sources are. So the way I see it, it's pretty simple. Anyone could put together a great product. It just means you have to put a lot of money into the ingredients instead of the marketing. So there you have it. There's the secret formula to formulating. But thank you. I appreciate the compliment.
well, without a doubt, and the curcumin plus bioperine is our biggest, our largest success right out the gate of any product we have ever produced
Wow.
since in the last 15 years.
Wow.
The feedback
And
is off the Richter scale. People are telling their friends about it. Their friends are coming in. They're calling us up or coming into the store telling us how well it's working, how quickly it worked. We've never had this much feedback on any product. And you know, and Lawrence, as you know, I've been producing formulas now for years, working with even national companies on formulation teams, including my own product line, Body Science. And since I got hooked up with you, this has just raised the proverbial bar on the quality, the potency, the purity, your ability on testing, the high pressure liquid chromatography testing that you do. Nobody in the industry does this.
Well, I think it all boils down to the almighty dollar, and I think that these companies could do it. And when you mentioned that you wanted to talk about curcumin, I did a little homework, and I've been studying it ever since. And I saw just what I expected, the same pattern, which is putting token amounts, trace amounts of these ingredients like curcumin into products and charging a fortune for it.
Mm-hmm.
So that may be at the root of it right there. The research shows when people do studies on these nutrients, high levels. They give people high levels of curcuminoids. And then I looked at the potencies that these products put in, and as you probably noticed, they're not high at all, are they? They're,
No.
150 milligrams of curcuminoids. Some of them aren't even standardized to curcuminoids, which they're tantamount to a curry powder, which people are supposed to eat tremendous amounts of curry powder. It's not even an extract at all. But when they do the right thing, which is use a standardized extract, which is 95% curcuminoids, if you take a look at the potency, I was surprised to see oftentimes 150 milligrams, 250, 300 milligrams. And then I was even more shocked to see a small bottle, 60 count or 90 count, at a price like $50 or $100.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be at the root of the problem right there. Why aren't people getting results with this stuff? Because they're putting a tiny amount, they're charging a fortune. People might just be underdosed, even if the product is high quality. And so the powerful position you and I are in is we have the highest quality curcumin available. We got a full dose of 10 milligrams of Bioperine to increase the absorption and bioavailability, and at a totally reasonable price, so they can afford to take a good dose of it every day. Yeah, it's in the ginger family, and turmeric, the primary, we standardize it for curcuminoids, but the primary curcuminoid is curcumin. So it's important when it's tested to make sure that we're getting the genuine article. So do you want me to tell you what we test for?
Please.
Okay, so we start off, ours is 100% natural. So we standardize it to 95% curcuminoids, which shouldn't be that hard to find. If you're looking for a high-end curcumin product, there should be plenty of companies that offer a 95% curcuminoid tested product. But like we mentioned earlier, the potency is generally going to be a lot lower. Why? Because it's one of the most expensive nutritional supplements out there. So they don't want to put a lot of curcumin in because curcumin costs a fortune. So ours has 500 milligrams of standardized curcuminoids per one capsule, plus the 10 milligrams of Bioperine. So we're not talking about regular curry powder here, which is what a lot of companies will do. They'll just sell yellow curry powder and try to make a fortune because it costs nothing. So curcumin, 95% curcuminoids, it is extremely expensive, and it is important that we've HPLC tested it for curcuminoids to make sure that we're not just buying that curry powder at a high price. So that's a common ripoff in the industry. So the color should be very bright, and it should be tested for 3 peaks. The 3 peaks that should be tested for are DMC, and curcumin. Curcumin is the main curcuminoid that it should be tested for. It's made with ethyl acetate and not EDC, and that means that it's free from class 3 or chlorinated solvents. Mm-hmm. And it's so expensive that a bottle with half as many capsules and the lower doses we were talking about without Bioperine can sell for more than you're selling that giant bottle for. And Bioperine is 4 times the price of curcumin. So by adding Bioperine to the product, it does make it more, significantly more expensive. So I did a little homework, and I checked to see exactly what these companies are selling the product for. And I don't want to, stir anything up by naming specific companies because this isn't going to be unique to this one company. They're all doing this. It's a 300. This particular company is offering a 300 milligram. Yours is 500, and it's a 90%. It's not a 95%, and it's a 60 count. You've got a 180 count, and it's discounted at the cheapest website for $34 a bottle. That was the best deal I could find. So that means that 3 bottles would equal yours because there's 60, and yours is 180. But then we'd also have to increase it from 300 milligrams to 500 milligrams, which is 2/3 more. So now we went from $100, right, because they're approximately $33 a bottle. You have to get 3 bottles, which should be $100. Now we have to add 2/3 more because it's 500 milligrams in a capsule instead of 300. So now we're at $167. And that, again, that's for a 90%, not a 95%, with no Bioperine. And I don't recall what you sell yours for, but it's approximately 1/3 that price, mm-hmm. right?
Well, what it comes out to per pill is we sell ours for 29 cents a capsule.
Oh, my God.
And the nearest competitors on a halfway decent potency is about $1, at least $1 to $1.10 per capsule. So we're at about 1/4 the cost for probably 4 times the potency. In reality, 4 times the potency at 1/4 the cost. And then the Bioperine, we see the Bioperine at about 1.5 milligram to 2.5 milligram can enhance the absorption by as much as 2,000%. And of course, you and I, Lawrence, opted to put 10 milligrams of Bioperine, which is completely unheard of in the entire health food industry.
Yeah, that's a standalone product, basically.
It's a standalone product. So we super enhanced the absorption of these curcuminoids with the most powerful curcuminoid extract available. And on top of that, your very own high-pressure liquid chromatography testing, which is vastly superior in proving exactly which compounds and completely impurity-free.
Yeah, I mean, how can this be happening? It sounds impossible, right? I mean, it's like going to the gas station and mm-hmm. fill up your tank, and you press the button to get a receipt out, and you notice that it's $300. You'd be raising Cain. I mean, I expect $75 to fill my tank, not $300. And if I found out the gas was no better, I'd be upset. I wouldn't be thrilled with that gas station. I would never go back there. Mm-hmm. And this isn't just one company that's doing this. This is the norm. They're all doing this. and that's not how much gas costs. Everyone knows gas is not $16 a gallon. It's $4 a gallon. Everyone knows that. And I think it takes a lot of nerve and a lack of conscience, in my opinion. Maybe I'm being overly idealistic, but I think a big important part of business is not only making a great product, but keeping your eye on the price. I think that needs to be just as important. I think that's a measurement of performance is, can you make the real challenge in business? To me, it's a lot like sports. Can you make the best product around, but can you offer it at the lowest possible price? That's what makes it difficult, because anyone can make a high-quality product and just sell it at the high. That's what these companies do. And in some cases, they're not even making a high-quality product, and they're selling it at the high. There's nothing challenging about that. The difficult thing, and it puts a lot of strain on somebody like me and on someone like you, because it forces us to go the extra mile, but you're basically offering product to the public below wholesale. In other words, in a typical retail setting, they're doubling the price. They call it keystoning, right? You buy it for 10, sell it for 20. That's a typical retail markup. But if you're selling this stuff for a third or a quarter of what everyone else is selling it for, that means you're selling it retail to the public, to individuals, at a lower price than most store owners in America are paying for curcumin when they buy it in big volume at the wholesale level to stock up their store, to then double it and sell it to the public, right? I mean, if you follow the math, you're selling it to the public for half the price that they're buying it for. Because if you're selling it for a quarter of the price that they're buying, right? I mean, if you're selling it for 60, or rather, if you're selling for 60 and everyone else is paying 240, that must mean that the store owner is buying it for 120, doubling it, selling it for 240. The store owner is buying it for 120, but you're selling it to the public for 60. So because of the hard work that you and I are both doing, we're selling the highest quality product, and you're selling it to the public at half the price, approximately, of what most business owners that are in the supplement business that own stores are paying for it. And that, I think, is just as impressive, maybe more impressive than the fact that it's a high-quality curcumin. Because a high-quality curcumin, anyone could do that. Anyone can just buy the most expensive curcumin, put a whole bunch of it in a pharmaceutical-grade capsule, put it in an amber glass bottle. Anyone can do that. That wouldn't take any high level of business acumen. But try getting it from the raw material into the hands of the consumer at half the price that the typical store owner pays for it. I don't see anyone doing that. That takes a lot of work, and there's no one out there that I'm aware of that's doing it. And I do want to mention a couple issues, body areas that curcumin hits. These are some of the reasons that people take curcumin. And you mentioned it's a natural anti-inflammatory. It's used to soothe joints and connective tissue. People use it for their kidney, bladder, urinary tract, the heart, the cardiovascular system, for healing, for skin, eyes. We talked about this list going on and on. You mentioned liver detoxifying, the regenerative benefits for the liver, pancreas and gallbladder, breast, prostate, reproductive system, protective benefits for the brain, nervous system, digestive system, and colon. It just goes on and on. This is one of the most important nutritional supplements to take. I take it every day. And by the way, a lot of people may not be familiar with Bioperine. Bioperine is a standardized extract of black pepper, and it contains 95% piperine, I believe is how it's pronounced.
Right.
And it's the only product from piperine to get a patent status for its ability to increase the bioavailability of nutritional compounds. That's the reason people take it. It's also the only source from piperine to have undergone clinical studies in the U.S. to substantiate its safety and efficacy for nutritional use. Also, one other little side note, in addition to things that are specific to this formula that we're talking about, just in general, Nature's Purest avoids the use of additives. You may notice that a lot of these common supplement companies will use tablets, which means they've got a lot of glues, gums, binders, fillers, coatings, dyes. They're doing that to save money. They know they could use a capsule, but it would cost a lot more, and then you wouldn't need those things. And even, not only do we use a capsule, we don't even use the only thing we use other than the active ingredient that you see, and you'll notice under other ingredients on our supplement, under our supplement facts panel on our label, normally other ingredients on a lot of these products is a laundry list. There are more other ingredients than there are active ingredients. And a lot of those things are things we wouldn't want to eat, like hydropropyl methyl cellulose, which is basically an indigestible foam. All these additives that they use, and you'll notice what ours says is mag stearate, and we only use 0.5% of magnesium stearate, which is the absolute minimum, just so our capsules don't crack. And that's it. We don't use anything else in our products. The only other thing we may use when needed is maybe a tiny bit of brown rice if the capsule has a certain size, and we put in 500 milligrams, and the capsule, for example, could hold 600 milligrams, so there would be a little empty space. We don't want an empty space, so we'll put a tiny bit when needed, and oftentimes we don't even need that. So our products are very, very close to completely additive-free. So that's a little side note that goes for all of our products, not just this one.
Yeah, and the proof is in the pudding when you can see it visually. We have a couple of the top curcumin extract products. We have a little board that we made, and it shows Nature's Purest and these other two, and you can compare the milligrammage of the curcuminoid content, and then you can see the actual color, because curcuminoids, as you said, they're a very vivid, bright orange color, and you can just literally see that pigment color in the Nature's Purest compared to the others. And then, of course, we also have the price they cost, which is one of them is $1, the other one's $1.01, and then here's ours, yours and mine, at 29 cents.
And it's higher potency and better.
Way higher potency, and the actual extract. Well, the proof is in the pudding when you see it with your eyes. Yeah. Way brighter orange. That's something you can't hide. The curcuminoids are diluted with all those fillers to make them look lighter and lighter, and of course that's money in those fellas' pockets.
Right, and it may also just be regular old curry powder, which is not brightly colored.
Right.
And we know that these brightly colored foods are healthy. Experts are always telling us to eat greens, colors that are bright green, blues, yellows. They all have natural protective factors. And so not only are they beautiful, but they're extremely beneficial for us. And so we're all familiar with curry's bright yellow, orangish yellow color. And it's those pigments in that curry that are so much brighter in this concentrated extract. And it's also, as you mentioned, it's a strong antioxidant. It's a superoxide radical scavenger. And superoxide radicals are deployed by the immune system, and they attack our bodies. They're quite toxic. So that's just another reason to take curcumin, just overall as a super powerful antioxidant.
And once again, the name of that product is Curcumin plus Bioperine. And I want to bring up another product of yours that I think is phenomenal, and it's the Herbal Male.
Oh yeah, I just took that.
That's off the Richter scale.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite formula.
And Herbal Male, the herbs that make heavy hitters, the potency level of each of those is the key to it, because you have such a high potency of each of those. But I want to get into something that we've talked about, and it's a philosophy for every product you make in Nature's Purest. And it's why I feel so privileged to be able to work with you. And we have a new one new adrenal formula coming out that's going to be.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be. I mean.
We finished it yesterday.
You said it yesterday.
We've been working on it for months.
It's on the way right now.
Yes, we finished it yesterday, and it's on the way to Florida. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
We've been working on this for months. And remember, the hardest part, we were so particular about getting the best ingredients. The most time-consuming process was just getting the raw materials, getting those specific raw materials. We could have easily gotten different types of ingredients quickly. I'm excited. I got the bottle out yesterday. I felt like a kid. It was like Christmas or something, opening up the package. I don't know why I get so giddy with these. For some reason, this particular formula I'm extra excited about for some reason.
Well, you and I have that in common. This is, people say, hey, you're kind of weird, aren't you? But I really get excited about this stuff. It's literally like Christmas to me, too.
Right.
And the philosophy behind everything you make is exactly this philosophy, to buy the purest, the most potent. Your beta-carotene. Everybody uses synthesized beta-carotene in the health food industry.
Don't start me on that beta-carotene. Oh my God!
Tell us about your source of beta-carotene.
It is so hard to get natural marine algae beta-carotene. Now it's been taken over by a big corporation, and they basically have a monopoly on it. Now you can't get it anywhere else. And the price is insane. If I were to tell you it's thousands of dollars a kilo per active kilo of beta-carotene, and can you imagine how cheap synthetic beta-carotene from petroleum is? It's, a couple $100 a kilo. And the public has no clue. I don't think I've ever in my life seen a bottle of nutritional supplements that said beta-carotene, synthetic, in parentheses next to it, or petroleum derived. I've never seen it. No one says that, and no one knows that. The public has no clue. They think they're eating a carrot. They have no idea.
Yeah.
And all we can do is put beta-carotene, natural marine algae beta-carotene with mixed carotenoids, and we don't explain the whole situation, that it's literally 10 times the price. And if we put in 10,000 IU, it's the same price as if they were to put in 100,000 IU. It's literally 10 times the cost. And this is going on and on. It's going on with all of our vitamins, all of our minerals, the true chelated minerals. They're just more expensive. And it's something that I kind of get a chuckle about, because people see our prices, and I'm sure they just assume, oh, well, this is probably a low-end brand. Look at how low the prices are. And the irony is, I'm making a Cadillac or a Bentley or a Ferrari. I'm making the absolute highest quality you can possibly make, regardless of cost, and the price is low. That's what's ironic about it, is it hasn't been compromised. It's super, super high-end. Every single product I make for my own personal use, and I don't compromise it. And here's a great one. I think you're going to love this one, and I should have done this 10 or 15 years ago, because I, as an athlete, have had joint pain, joint problems ongoing. And these are all things I take. I should have put them together a long time ago, and I finally did it. The product is done. I'm just waiting for labeling. And here we go. You want to hear this formula?
Let's hear it.
Okay, and these are all things I'm sure you've already got, but people would have to have a lot of different bottles. This is called Joint and Pain Factors. This is the serving, and I'm sure that there's no one who's ever done anything like this before. 1,500 milligrams of glucosamine sulfate, 1,200 milligrams of chondroitin sulfate, and 1,000 milligrams of MSM. There are a lot of companies that have that. We have something very close to that. Here's where it really blows up. 100 milligrams of, this is per serving, 100 milligrams of hyaluronic acid, 500 milligrams of boswellia, 65%, 500 milligrams of DL-phenylalanine, 250 milligrams of quercetin, 250 milligrams of bromelain, 2400 GDU, and 250 milligrams of the same curcumin, 95%, that we've been talking about for the last half hour. So that's everything that people take to build connective tissue in their joints, to lubricate their joints, to cut pain and inflammation out of their joints, all in full therapeutic doses in one formula, in one bottle. And here's the kicker. It'll be the same price as the curcumin you've got right now.
Wow. I kind of wanted to finish with that, and our time is totally up. Lawrence?
Yeah, we need to do this again. We need to
We
talk.
got to.
All these things are so important. As soon as you're ready, let me know. You're right. We need to talk about all, especially the lugols. It was a pleasure, and went by too fast as usual. And I definitely look forward to speaking about some of these other things with you again soon.
Love you, brother. Thank you, Lawrence.
You too.
Thanks.
Take care. Bye-bye.